Hey everyone, welcome back to another, good old training here in the Facebook world. I, at this point, I think I've coached thousands of women. I was trying to figure out if I could count the other day, and it's definitely in the thousands at this point. And I think so many women have a dream of earning six figures in their business. I think not as many have the desire to go to a seven-figure business. A lot of times people just are like, I would love to, earn $10,000, $12,000 a month and have my life be my own. And I would be so good with that. And there are a lot of women that I have coached over the years who stop there and they have a beautiful business that brings in 10, 12, 20,000 a month. And they're like, I'm good. And actually at that level of business, you're the most profitable. Because it's really just you, maybe a virtual assistant, maybe an online business manager, but you don't have high overhead at all. So the majority of that money does go back into your pocket. Whereas once you get into the millions, your profitability drops by quite a lot. So I think you're probably aiming for like 30% profit each year once you're over the million mark, because you have so much overhead with team and advertising and all that stuff. It just becomes a different way of doing business. The reason why I wanted to continue to scale and to build a multi-million-dollar company is for impact. Yes, the money is great, but the impact, there's a lot more to lose. There's a lot more to gain. But for me, I just want to reach more women. And it's just, I feel like it's part of why I'm here. But I think, when I see women come into SBA, everything that you need inside of that program is there to build your business to six figures, like literally from zero, from scratch, from concept to six figures. It's in this program. And there is one thing that holds the women who are being held back. It's because of literally one thing. And I think mindset is the most boring word. I roll my eyes at it every time. So I'm not even going to use the word mindset, but it's the fact that they come in to SBA or they come into starting their business. Let's say you're not even an SBA, you're just ready to start this business. The biggest problem and the one thing that holds everyone back if they're not able to start creating traction or success is that they are trying to make decisions and implement from the level of thinking that they're currently at. Okay? We cannot create new results or a new reality with the same level of thinking that got us to where we are now, right? The thoughts that we think have created our reality to this point. They've created the house we live in. They've created the income that we have. They've created the family dynamics that we have. The level of thinking has created the relationship that we have, or relationships that we have. Everything in your life has been created because of the level of thinking that you're at, or the way of thinking that you've been thinking. Yeah, if you don't want to look at it as levels. You've created your reality based on the way that you've been thinking about things and the stories that you're telling yourself. And if we want to create a new reality or we want to create something different, you're going to have to think very differently. And like, I wouldn't have been able to build a multi-million-dollar business from the mindset or the level or the way of thinking that I had when I was just starting my business. Like I was like night and day, right? And so really telling yourself, like, how, as a six-figure business owner or a seven-figure business owner, whichever you're aiming for, how do I make this decision, or how do I show up in the world today? Yeah. So you want to start to make decisions from where you want to be rather than from where you actually are right now. And there's a couple of ways that I do this. So I am always taking the medicine. Like, I take the medicine, y'all. I listen to meditations. Joe Dispenza has some great meditations out there that really help you to create an entirely new reality for yourself. I listen to I am affirmations on YouTube constantly. I am always reading books about money, manifestation, the law of attraction. Sometimes I'm listening to podcasts or YouTube videos. I am doing everything I can on the back end to up level my thinking so that I can bring my reality up to where I want it to be. Yeah. And you can call it mindset, call it what you want, but if you're going to continue to do things the same way and think the same way and tell the same stories about, oh, maybe this isn't going to work, or, oh, I'm afraid, or this isn't going to work for me, or I hope that this works out, or I'm going to try and manifest the results, like you're in a level of thinking that is not going to create a 6-figure business. You have to tell yourself that this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm here. This is going to work. I just have to figure it out. I'm going to make a decision right now, and I'm going to make that decision right. I'm going to take action in spite of my fears. I'm going to continue to move the needle forward in my business, whether I feel uncomfortable or not. I'm going to get comfortable feeling uncomfortable, progress over perfection, right? Like, you have to keep telling yourself new stories, new ways of being. This is possible for me. I can have $1 million business. I can have $1 million home. I can create a business that's going to support the lives of a team of 15 or 20 that's going to impact thousands around the world. Like, I was telling myself this story when it didn't exist yet. Yeah. I was telling myself these stories when I just had a 6-figure business. And what happens is your subconscious mind starts to rewire itself when you take new action and then you see a different result. You're like, okay, well, that worked, so I'm going to do it again. It's called evolution. This is how we evolve as humans. You have to think a new reality until it becomes the actual reality. Okay. So what works for me might not work for you, but find what does work for you. What is your medicine? Is it meditation? And I can't just sit there and sit in silence for 20 minutes. I have to listen to guided meditations that serve a purpose. So I love Joe Dispenza's meditations. You can buy them off his website. They're so powerful. I love Tony Robbins does this priming exercise that I really love. It just shifts my energy into one of power and certainty. I listen to I am affirmations, and when I skip a couple of days of this stuff, like, I start to go back, my brain will rubber band back to where it's comfortable. And again, we have to continue, if we want to grow, we have to continue to push the envelope of our brain and of our mind and our level of thinking and our way of thinking and the stories that we're telling ourselves. Yeah. So if what has worked, if you have something that works for you, comment below. I'm curious as to what that is. But if you also are looking for some extra support, we've actually recently turned SBA, Soul Business Accelerator, into a year-long program. So you'll have us for an entire year, and I will be able to get you and your business to 6 figures. So message me or comment that you'd like to book a call. I'll get you on with one of my enrollment girls, and we'll see if it's right for you or not.